Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Steve Harris, and welcome to the show where it doesn't matter where we start as long as we finish strong. So welcome back. I have a question for you once again. I want to ask you guys if you were a little bit like me and if you pride yourself on making quick judgment calls about other people in general. In other words, are you quick to recognize that that person is mean or jealous or even a narcissist? It doesn't really matter what the adjective is, but we take pride in ourselves in identifying people when we hear or see them for the first time, and we think we know, right? Well, let me tell you a story. If you guys are familiar with David Lee Roth, I don't know if you recall him, but he was the lead singer of an iconic 1980s and even part of the 70s band called Van Halen. Van Halen was known for their antics. There's no question about it. And anyone familiar with the classic rock band knows it. They cranked out hit after hit for better than a decade, no question. They even had over 100 concerts in 1984. And with that, they held one of the most elaborate stages and technical productions that required intimate detail and attention to detail and setup. With this, their stage required nearly, from what I understand, about 20 semi-trucks, which was unheard of at the time, just to make sure that the stage production was exactly the way it was. It was so technically driven. And the contract for the stage setup required technical attention. It required skilled technicians. It required construction of the production from beginning to end, and it took hours and upon hours to build. It was also during this time that David Lee Roth became known as a real petulant child, almost immature in this real rock diva way. Surprise, right? He was the one that demanded, if you recall, anybody is my age or older, that the brown M&Ms be separated and culled out of the bowl that was placed in his dressing room. Well, they were just brown M&Ms. Can you imagine something so trivial and all this other stuff going on at the same time with the stage production and getting everybody ready and ticket sales and the venue itself? Roth was worried about brown M&Ms. Well, he would go into his dressing room upon his arrival to the concert, and the first thing he would do is he would go to that bowl of M&Ms and he would see if, in fact, there were any brown ones in the bowl. He didn't want them there. But if there was one, guess what would happen? Of course, the rock diva would lose his mind. Rolling Stone called him out on it, as did other rock and roll magazines, calling him just an idiot and immature and out of touch with reality. And maybe that was true. The rumor caught on and everyone heard the story. And David Lee Roth was never really able to shake that image. It turns out, however, that there was something else going on. You see, in David Lee Roth's autobiography that came out years later, he revealed that he was a guy who was very attentive to detail. David Lee Roth had it buried in the contract for the setup crew, Article 127, if you want to look it up, that the brown M&Ms needed to be culled out for his bowl in the dressing room. Why did he want that? What he was saying was, if in fact they read the contract, they paid very specific attention to detail, they would have recognized that the brown M&Ms really weren't the story. It was the attention to detail that the rest of the production would be set up properly. But if those brown M&Ms were found in the bowl, Roth lost his mind because he surmised that the stage production was going to be set up incorrectly and things weren't going to be right for the show. Pretty interesting, isn't it? I'm guessing you didn't know that. The brown M&Ms served as a tripwire for David Lee Roth to go out to the crew and make sure that they were paying attention to detail given that contract. And if they weren't, he called them to the carpet. is just one of those quick decisions that we make on other people, isn't it? When statements are made or rumors abound, don't we jump to conclusions really quickly? Don't we pride ourselves in doing that? We pass judgment on others based on whether they want brown M&Ms culled out of their bowl. You see, we don't have the big picture, do we? We haven't spent enough time with that individual to understand the story behind the story. And as a result, we get it wrong. And when we get it wrong, it's not uncommon that we're going to go out and we're going to tell others, and we're going to get it wrong to others. We start rumors, whether we intend to or not. We don't have enough detail behind the individual to pass that judgment that we place so quickly and fervently against all individuals, whether they're friends, family, people in our community, co-workers especially. We only have a small visual. And that's a problem. And we need to think about that. I would encourage you to do just that. And as my good friend and mentor has told me before, pray hard and finish strong. We'll see you guys.